put on my makeup light, and I know that this ain't gonna work out unless I like wait. That's not gonna work out. Be honest, do I look like I'm a writer in some Hallmark movie yet? Like, especially with this? Like, I'll have a black coffee. No snickerdoodle for me today, Gary. I'm not in the Christmas spirit. It's empty. It's empty. I drank it already. Okay, enough of these glasses. So today, what the fuck am I gonna do today? I don't know. Oh, here's one idea. Yeah, in my last semester of college, let's just explore my bookshelf, why don't we? I had to take an intro to creative writing class because it was on one of the subcategories I had to take for my technical writing major, and I just took it because it was easy and it was there, and I didn't have to think too much about it. Hello, phone. A lot of the prompts that he actually gave us, that the professor gave us, were actually very good exercises, like to describe the space, like form of words and descriptions, and you know, the sights, the sounds, the hearing, the feeling, the tasting, the smelling, all that jazz. There's a sound one where I literally had to write, I had to describe the sound of a washer and a dryer in a laundry room. I had to write a poem to somebody. I did it to my big brother because I couldn't think of anybody else. And then I did it for someone that doesn't exist. One where we had to write a poem about a magazine ad, and I chose Punish Yourself Buff, which you probably heard of from Carrie Hope Fletcher. Let's see. Minimum 15-line poem narrating thoughts in the ad. Okay, so love yourself buff. Grasping, clenching, pushing pain. Pulling, receding, relapsing pain. We stretch, we try, we conquer pain. So much pain. Why is it this way? We yearn to love and cherish, yet our muscles scream and ache. Our calluses and ice packs are not the same as trophies. We deserve a body that is ours. One we love straight out of the box. Here, we love ourselves, with or without the buff. Yay! Okay, one where I actually felt like I was good. Oh, visual images. Okay, this was an exercise we did. We had to make like a bullet point list of visuals for love, anger, surprise, joy, and contentment. And what I wrote was love. Cutting the crust off of a sandwich because you know they don't like it. I remember I raised my hand when he was taking like answers, and that was the one that I said to the class, and he goes, "That's fucking amazing. That's true love." And I'm like, "Yes, it is." And let's see, sending a text or call to see if they're okay. Lending them your jacket when it's cold, offering a band-aid when someone gets cut, walking with someone because they don't feel safe alone. That is love. Then for anger, I have the silent treatment, hitting or throwing things, giving snarky remarks, growling, clenching fists, heavy breathing, nostrils flaring. Surprise. Widened eyes, drop jaw, awaited breath, nostrils flaring as well because, you know, like that kind of shock. Let's see. Joy, smiling, crying, feeling light as a feather. Heaven on high, similar to light as a feather, but you're in such deep bliss, it's utopia. Okay. Dimples. Yeah, these little things. And jazz hands. Ah! like Wallace and Gromit, you know. Contentment. Resting bitch face. No dimples on the cheeks. Frown or straight lip. Unarched brow. So like, that's contentment. Yeah. This one I don't remember writing. The first time. I didn't see you coming. I was dancing in a fog of a white Russian bliss when you offered to watch me fall. My depression is a type of pollution, ever present, everlasting, until someone arrives to pick up the pieces. The vibrations within you soared, and to our surprise, I giggled at the prospect. All the power to you I had given, and now I feel a rapturous haunting. From your braided locks to the curve of your waist, you're a modern Aphrodite, and I am afraid to love you. I remember now. Moving on. There were a lot of poems I wrote when I was depressed. And, let's see. I won't go too far into it, but there is this one that I really like that I wrote called The Hanging Mermaid. And I did it based off of, I have a video idea. Oh, okay, later on. But I have a pin on a jean jacket that is like a tarot card from Xia Hunt. It's the Children of Lithia tarot deck. And the card, what am I saying? The card for the hanging man is actually a hanging mermaid. And I wrote it in this context. So, they've chained my wrists to the anchor. I'm going down, down, down to meet the crabs on the sea floor. I screech, but only bubbles rise, and the teal plantation does not call back to me. The chain scratches my tail. My scales taste the galvanized steel. Guppies take pity on me. All the while, the shadow of the Belander chuckles above me. Once again, I've forgotten I can breathe. Because do you ever feel like that? As if like, you're a mermaid. You are a sea cow swimming in a lake. And you see this really big freighter coming. And you know that you could move, but you swim in these waters. And they're not going to care. They're not going to go around you, but I don't know how to explain it, but like, what you gonna do? You know? Oh, there were a lot of poems that I had to write with another person because for some reason he wanted to teach us like collab work, but I kept collabing with the same person and she did not want to cooperate with me. She didn't want to collab with me and I didn't want to collaborate with her. So basically every time like we couldn't create anything because we never agreed on anything and it sucked. So basically I just confirmed that I prefer to write alone. So yeah. Oh, I remember this. So we had to like write about grief. That one, I'm not going to read that one. That one's kind of long, honestly. But honestly, it's like really good because he gave us like 5 minutes to write. And it's amazing just how much like I get an idea and then I then flip it around. You know? So that's kind of cool. So why can't I do that any other time when I want to write? I don't know. Oh, I remember. Here we go. Yeah. So this prompt was called Fictional Time. He didn't really give us a prompt, but he basically said, have one person toss another thing to you, or like the person that you're writing, like in the perspective of, and make it so that it's in the air for as long as possible. Now this was a prompt that taught us how to make time slow down in a sense. So let's see what I wrote. Let's see what I wrote in a span of 5 minutes. So, oh, it also says describe sensory details, like invoke the object, and end the prompt, end the story with the object landing in the other person's hand. The job was just to make it as long as possible. So, the sun had set, and its final shining fragments filled the living room with rays of orange, which would eventually darken into a misty blue before the black. I had just arrived at a friend's house and barely untied my shoes when I heard him from the other side of the living room. "Hey," he called to me. "Catch." I looked up, caught off guard because of my footwear and the expected politeness of taking off one's shoes when you enter a person's house. The object had sailed from my friend's hand at this point, and I caught a quick glimpse of it. The item appeared to be made out of velvet. What trailed along it was a string of gold. It was a small blue pouch, and it was heading right for my face. My frightened instincts kicked in, giving me hazy and embarrassing flashbacks to the days of kickball. Please, God, anything, don't let it hit my face. I prayed to every deity I knew not to grant me with a bruise to the face this time. I was so lucky that moment as I grasped the velvet comet out of the air. A lot of scratches, you're going to have to forgive me. I tightened my grasp so it wouldn't fall, and it was then when I sensed a new texture beneath the velvet. The pouch whispered a muffled grumbling sound. Excitement followed. Prying the top of the pouch apart, I saw that the golden strings encased a fresh set of dice. I felt a smooth surface as I watched a glistening D20 roll on top of my palms. I smiled with quiet glee as my friend entered the room in a ceremonious cape. "Welcome," he bellowed, "to your first D&D night, young traveler. Please, have a seat." And you can imagine I got a lot of applause from that class that day. Now this one I had to write, oh my, this is a long one. I had to write at least a 500-word story based on setting. So a character browsing through a store and there is a conflict. And that's when I wrote something about somebody shopping in Victoria's Secret. And yeah, trying to find something to rekindle their sex life. And I realized that is actually very deep because I'm not that old. And I don't know. It's just, being single at the time, I like thought about relationships a lot. I thought about being alone a lot. And then I thought about how people in that situation have to rekindle their love. And then realizing that maybe they don't need to be materialistic to gain that in their life. You know what I mean? So, yes. When you're a writer, you go deep or you go home. This one I remember being very, very weird to me because this was another plot one in which we just bullet pointed the story. And if we wanted to make it an actual story, we could. I don't know if I'll do anything with this, so. But anyway, it said, write 10 plot points about a person at a bank who received more money from the teller than they requested. And what I wrote was, the woman is closing her bank account of $2,735.42. That was just a random number that came up in my head. And the teller gives her $150,000 more than expected. She tries to return it, and then the teller says, "My boss is in the other room. He's done horrible things to me. I'm going to unlock the door, and you're going to help me. And if we win, you get to keep the money." So essentially, I came up with a murder plot. So so she's frozen, and then it's kind of like an American Psycho by Bret Easton Ellis, where it's like, we come up with these murderous thoughts in our head, but do we really do them? It's like, that was the kind of story that I wanted to write. And so I think I came up with this plot of okay, so the woman takes the money and she then seduces him, she's the new secretary. And then, I wrote, she pepper sprays him, then shoots him with the gun in her purse. She's guilty, but she's compensated. I it's creative writing. Please calm down. And with that, that is actually the end of the notebook. I have yet to fill it up with more stories and plots. And so, October day 18? I hope you enjoyed this one, and hope you don't think that I'm crazy.